That's just about the way. But listen, every day we hit the road, but for too many people, that journey never ends safely. That journey never ends well. I'm sure that as I speak right now, you've left home, you were in a vehicle on the road before you've gotten to your destination. If you're listening to me, you're still on the road, you're still in the vehicle, on on your way to either to school, to work, to visit a friend, to traveling. You are on the road. And unfortunately, some of us, I pray that you arrive safely, but unfortunately, many people do not reach safely. Ghana records thousands, of road crashes each year, with Ashanti Region always constantly leading the pack in terms of crashes and knockdowns. Question is why? Why is Ashanti Region always leading? I mean, and it's like we lead in every negative thing. When it comes to HIV/AIDS, we're leading. When it comes to teenage pregnancy, we're leading. When it comes to crashes and knockdowns, we are leading. Why? And it's been detected that, overspeeding, poor enforcement, and human error remain the biggest killers or causes of these, accidents. So what really is being done, to make our roads safer? Who is accountable, and why do the numbers remain stubbornly high? We've been joined by our friends, from the National Road Safety Authority. We have with us the regional head in the person of Kwasi Agyenim Boateng, and his lieutenant is also right with us here, Isaac Odro. Gentlemen, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
And last week when you joined us, we began, in fact, the last week's conversation was mainly on the body vehicle. And at the time, many people were reporting that there's been a ban on its importation, there's been a ban on its usage. Clarity was given that in terms of intra, it could be used for such transports business, but when it comes to inter, it's not permissible and all that. We'll try to find out from you a few other things. But you said to me, Mr. Boateng, that a technical committee has done the work and nothing concrete has been decided upon yet. As of today, has any concrete decision been made as to whether we're banning the body and all that? What has been the decision?
Okay, so a very good morning to our cherished listeners. So as we discussed last week, no one said the Boxy vehicle has been banned. But as usual, after the technical committee's report, we had a lot of commentaries about it. Some were quite positive, others were very negative. But NRSA has issued an advisory note to the general public concerning the usage of Voxy. NRSA still maintains that the Voxy was not used for basically a commercial. It was not a commercial because it's not manufactured to be used for a commercial purpose. Or the suitability for it's being used as a commercial vehicle cannot be vouched for. So something that we should know. Then also Toyota Tsusho Manufacturing Company, the company that produced or manufactured the Voxy vehicle, has stated categorically that it does not manufacture left-hand Voxy vehicles. So any Voxy vehicle that you see that's a left-hand was not manufactured by Toyota. So we should take notes. Then when we also we hear a lot of information going around about it. We should know that even those who do the conversion, by what standards do they measure the conversion? See, what yardstick do they do? We don't know. Somebody goes to, we are not saying all those who do conversions are not really good, but we don't know what goes into it. There should be a yardstick developed by the country. So eventually, NRC wants every road user to know that even the way the vehicles are converted is not benchmarked against any international best practice or developed standard. That should also we should get to do.
With all that you've said, two things jump at me. The last one has to do with the people that do the conversion. And if you listen to the CEO, Abraham Amaliba, he said we should close such garages. Has anything come out of that yet?
Oh, you see, we have the Vehicle Standardization Committee.
Yeah.
It was a committee led by Ghana Standards Authority, made up of other stakeholders, including the VLA, NRSA, Ministry of Transport. They've been able to develop vehicle standards for the country. But you see, after this Voxy issue, we've come to realize that a lot of unaccredited garages are there, doing their own thing without anybody checking them. You get it? And when it comes to public safety, the state is mandated to ensure sanity for every road user. So the state will always reign supreme. in terms of public safety. We should know that. We don't care about your sentiments. You get it. The safety of every individual and citizen is paramount. So we will develop in future there will be standards developed for those who want to convert vehicles.
For such garages?
Yes. So that in case that maybe when there's a crash, it will aid us in traceability. We'll be able to trace the specific garage that did the conversion on a specific vehicle. You get it.
And that mandates or that supervisory work will be done by the NRSA?
No, in terms of standards, it's done by the lead agency's Ghana Standards Authority.
Very well. The other question has to do with the issue of the VOXI that we're told that should not go certain limits. Has any concrete decision been taken? Are they supposed to?
The public has been advised not to take VOXI
from Kwasi to Accra
for long distance.
Okay.
Somebody might even ask, what I thought is long distance? If you say long distance. If you take a look at the road traffic regulations, in fact, road safety issues are governed by the Road Traffic Act and road traffic regulations, and certain sections of the Ghana Standards Authority Act and DVLA Act. When you take a look at the road traffic regulations, LI 2180/2012. If you look at regulations 195, the interpretation, it provides that any journey exceeding 100 kilometers is classified as a long journey. You get it? So when you are traveling and per the regulations, if it exceeds 100 kilometers, it's a long journey. You get it? So based on that, we'll not tell you don't go here, but use that 100 kilometers. Okay. You get it? Because somebody might try to go to court for court to interpret what is a long journey. You get it? So eventually, when you take a look at the road traffic regulation again, you are supposed to install what we call speed limiters or speed governors in commercial vehicles in the country. Certain private organizations or companies have done that. Even in the mining sector, I think we have some of them have installed speed governors or speed limiters to regulate the speeding issue, because speeding is a significant issue in the country. Even in Ashanti Region, most of the crashes with high severities, we could all attribute them to speeding.
Is it speeding or over speeding? Because speeding is relative. When we say speeding, what limits? We'll get there. But as it stands now, you're leaving the choice to individuals for them to decide. Because the advice.
We are not. Okay, you talk.
Because what I'm getting from you is that there's been education, there's been advice or information that don't board vehicles that are not supposed to do 100 kilometers. That is long journey. True or false? So you're expecting that passengers will not board such vehicles. Is that what you're communicating?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're leaving it to the individual. Yeah, Isaac.
Okay, so thank you. This recommendation is part of what the committee suggested. Yeah. So they gave 0 to 6 months. What all institutions are supposed to do, and as part of our duties, we are supposed to issue a public advisory notice to all.
So after 6 months, what action will be taken?
So we are still in the process of engaging all the stakeholders within the VOXI and all those around.
All the transporters. Leadership of the transporters.
I get you.
You know, we engaged some of them. As we could all attest that some were saying they were not engaged.
Yeah, I played a voice last week.
We want to do a comprehensive engagement.
Okay.
So David, I decided to check. So meaning that per the advisory, when you take Kumasi to Nkoko, for example, it is 115 kilometers. So you can't take VOXI per the advisory. If you are taking a car from Kumasi to Nkoko, you need to be careful. It's a VOXI. When you take Kumasi to Sunyane is also 124 kilometers. So Kumasi to Sunyane to Eswafan. So basically, these are what I wanted to draw.
Actually, they were restricted to intra-cities within
the city,
within the environment. You get it. That's what the advice was. But in the long term, after meeting all concerned, a concrete direction will be taken.
All right, so Isaac, let me stay with you a while longer, if you don't mind, before we talk about the accident itself, General. I just want to stay a while longer on this Voxy. Please indulge me. Do you have the figures for us in terms of what percentage of the accidents involving Voxy are due to, let's say, the conversions? Any figures, any data available? Because all of them are converted vehicles.
Sure. Per the committee's work. Okay. All of them are based on. But I think it contributes less than 1% of the national crash data from the time the committee.
Okay.
So the Bono, but there are some regions that record quite higher. So the Bono areas record 14.6% of total crash involving only Voxy. Then the northeast 12.7%. So aside these regions, when we put all of them together, it contributes less than 1% of them.
So now let's have a general conversation about road accidents, and we want to focus more attention here in the Ashanti region. And over the years, Ashanti region, like I said in my intro, has led when it comes to national data or statistics. Crashes, knockdowns, Ashanti region, keeps leading. For the first quarter of this year, 2026, what does the figures look like in terms of crashes, in terms of the vehicles involved, in terms of deaths, in terms of injuries? Give us for first quarter this year, and if you don't mind, if you have that data as well, let's do a comparative analysis of what happened same period last year.
Okay, thank you. So, Ashanti region is divided into 3 police administrative regions. So we have the Ashanti Central, the Ashanti North, and the Ashanti South. So when we talk about the Central, we refer to areas covering Mankranso, Mampontin, Ebuakwa, KNUST, Swami, Menshia, Kepa, Sintreso Airport. All these divisions falls under the Ashanti Central.
Okay.
And that is where you would have a lot of issues later in our discussion.
Sure, okay.
Then Ashanti South covers areas, Konongo Division, Ejoso, Obuasi, and Bekwai. That is for the Ashanti South. Then the North covers areas including Mampong, Agona, Efigasi, Ejura, and Offensu. So Ashanti Central, cases reported for the first quarter is 727.
That's Ashanti Central.
The Ashanti
727.
That records the highest. Compared to same period last year, 709.
So which means we've increased in crashes this year?
Yeah, sure,
okay.
By 18.
Okay.
Then persons killed within the Central is 100 for the first quarter.
And then last year same time
was 81.
81. So in terms of the crashes, it's gone up by some 18.
19.
Sorry. And in terms of the deaths,
19.
The deaths, 19.
Deaths is also 19.
Yes.
Wow.
Then persons injured is 816. That's against 900 last year, same period.
So at least that one has come down.
Sure.
Wow.
By 84.
Wow.
Then let's take the North, Ashanti North. Cases reported 126 compared to last year 159. So there was some form of reduction, 33. Persons knocked down 17 compared to same period 21. Then persons killed was 46 compared to same period last year 49. So reduction.
There's been a reduction
of
3 in Ashanti North.
Ashanti North. Injured is 273 compared to same period last year 235. Increase of 38. Then the Ashanti South, cases reported 270 as against last year 240. Increase of 30. Persons knocked down 47. Same period last year 31. Increase of 16. Persons killed 66 compared to same period last year 64. Increase by 2. Injured 389. Same period last year 298. Increase of 91. So in total, we recorded 1,123 cases or accidents compared to same period last year 1,108. That is an increase of 15. Then
hold on, for this year's 1,000
1,123.
And the last year is
1,108.
okay.
Then persons knocked down was 158 for this year. Last year 156.
Okay.
Then persons killed is 212. Last year 194, increase of 18. Then persons injured 1,478 for this year. Last year 1,433, increase of 45.
So David, it seems as if the Ashanti Central
List, yeah.
Ashanti
Yes.
Region.
is the one pulling
Yes.
our numbers
Yes.
high, and
Yes.
it seems all the 4 broad areas, crashes, knockdowns, death,
Sure.
Injuries, yeah.
are all high.
Now,
Yes.
but
Can you give us the areas of the central again?
So the central covers the CBD, so the Adum and all those KJT and around. Then in Kawie, Swami, Kepa, Suntreso, Airport, Asqua, KNUST, Ebuakwa, Trede, Mampontin, Mankranso, and Ofurukrum.
now, before you tell us why it is that high in Ashanti Central, I would like to ask you whether you have data on other vehicles.
Vehicle types.
So, like, tricycles, motorcycles, those things, the progress, and are there data on them?
Sure.
Okay.
So for the first quarter, 2026, we had 271 motorcycles. So when I say motorcycles, I'm referring to the 2-legged cycles.
Okay.
So we had 271 cases. Last year, same period, 275. So there has been a reduction.
By 4.
Yes.
The
Bicycles, hand carts, 0 for each. Then tricycles, we recorded 259 cases for this year. Then last year there was 197.
So that went up.
Yeah, yes. In total, we had 530 for all the cycles for this year, and last year 480. Then the commercial and the private vehicles. So for the commercial vehicles, we recorded 662 for this year, and private 665.
Wow.
Then motorcycles all put together, the 2-legged and the 3-legged, is 530. So it means for this particular quarter, the commercial private is leading by just 3.
Okay. What, per your data and your findings, attributes to the high crashes and knockdowns in Ashanti Central?
Ashanti Central. In fact, they prefer to be called the Ashanti Region. So let's look at Ashanti Region. That is where, of course, we have high pedestrian volumes and vehicle volumes. So in transport studies, anytime we have increase in pedestrian and traffic volumes increasing, of course, there's a likelihood of crashes being occurred. And these areas, of course, the Ashanti Central, the CBD, Swami, Mankranso. Mankranso is where we recorded the 16. Even later, it went up to 17 deaths this year. So, looking at the nature of crash at the CBD or the Central, we record a lot of pedestrian knockdowns. A lot of them. So, if you take a look at the 100 of the 100 deaths that occurred at the Central, we had 94 pedestrian knockdowns, and out of the 94, we had 26 deaths only from pedestrian knockdowns.
Wow. And that's also for the Ashanti Central or the Ashanti
only for
region.
the Ashanti region or the Central. So out of the 94 pedestrian knockdowns, we recorded 26 of them.
And when it comes to knockdowns and pedestrian knockdowns, what baffles me is the fact that you see people in town this time around, and they are crossing the street whilst they are texting or fidgeting with their phone. They are crossing the street whilst they have headsets on. God knows what they're listening to. So even if you are blowing a horn to alert them or something, they might not even hear.
Sure.
So my next question is, what percentage of crashes in the Ashanti region can be linked to driver behavior versus, let's say, pedestrian behavior or road conditions? Do you have that data?
We do not have that data, but for the central, when you take areas like the Centreso area, where that is Centreso covers Sufo line through to Kwadaso. These are areas where we record a lot of pedestrian knockdown, and the issues are that there's an underpass at Sufo line for pedestrians to use. The pedestrians are not using it due to a lot of reasons. So some of the reasons were security reasons in the underpass. I don't know whether you visited the place.
Yes, at least for I don't know which part it falls under, but we've been to that place before where we know that a lot of people do not want to use the underpass for security reasons.
Yes. There was an improvement. They brought CCTV cameras and there was a
lighting system, illumination
to improve. Yet still, the pedestrians are not. And every single day, we record crashes and knockdowns there around the Kwadaso, Sufo line areas.
What about Tech? Because again, Tech has a footbridge that people are supposed to use in crossing, but they don't often want to use it. Even when you put barbed wires, to prevent them, they come and cut it at what time they do, and they still use that place in crossing the streets. What do you have any data on that for us as well?
So in fact, there's an improvement with Tech.
Okay.
There's been a significant improvement compared to previous years.
Do you have data? Do you have figures to speak to?
As at now, no. But we've seen that there's an improvement around the Tech area.
As National Road Safety Authority, do you do checks, regular checks or inspections on our roads? And if you do, how many commercial drivers maybe failed basic road worthiness or licensing inspections?
So we do road checks with DVLA and sometimes with the police MTTD. In fact, when you stop maybe 20 vehicles, out of the 20, 17 of them would have all their paperwork correctly done. For that one, it's only some few of them who do not have.
Are they commercial vehicles or private vehicles you're referring to?
Mostly commercial.
Why don't you do the same for private vehicles?
Sure.
Do they pass? Do they have the documentations intact and all that?
Of course, they pass. With the issues with the private vehicles, mostly we are having issues with the institutional vehicles.
Okay, like companies.
Yes, companies,
government institutions and stuff like that. Okay.
Some of them now, this year, we are going to engage all the major institutions that we've identified.
Engage them in what sense? What do you mean?
In training and education for their drivers. Okay. Well, sometimes, because these vehicles are institutional vehicles, they think they are above the law. And they drive recklessly. Look at that accident that happened at Mankanso. The ambulance. The fault was from the ambulance driver. He did a needless overtaking and caused 17 people to die. So we've targeted some of the institutions and we'll be engaging them to correct their behaviors on the road.
But David, I want to know something. The N6 highway, we were told, I don't know, about 2-3 years ago that
when you say N6, let's clarify for people to get to know.
Record a lot of accidents. How has the situation been in the last 2-3 years? So that would be Ashanti South, right?
South.
Yes.
No, it depends on the location, but a lot more is in Ashanti.
Gaso.
Okay, that's Ashanti South.
So the situation remains the same. We have Konongo leading for the Ashanti South, followed by Ejuso. So the situation remains the same. There's no significant change. The crashes keeps on occurring.
Is it possible that because after Ejuso we terminate the dual carriage? Is it possible?
To be the cause
is it a possible causal factor?
For the speeding or?
Yes.
I think when you reach the rural aspect of the region, there's a lot of speeding. We record a lot of speeding along the rural aspect, and also night. Most of the crashes happen at night there. So we can also ascribe some of the blame to, let's say, lack of line markings along certain sections.
So then that would lead me to my next question, because Eugene, for example, has raised concerns about this tech stretch. Eugene, which hotel has that portal you talked about?
The Silicon Valley.
So the Silicon Valley Hotel, or Silicon Hotel, is a big portal there.
They fixed it now.
They fixed it. Yes. Well, I'm happy, because my next question was going to be asked to how many accident prone black spots have we been able to identify in the Ashanti region, and how many have actually been fixed? So I'm happy that has been fixed. I don't know whether it's because they heard us talk about it last week.
Yeah, they put some concrete in.
But at least they fixed it. But again, what I want to understand is this. You talked about this Edriso stretch, for example. You talked about lack of illumination. There are other places, for example, in the Ashanti region, if you go into Espresso and all that, they also don't have street lights, no street markings. This makes it difficult for people who are driving at night, who may have challenges with their wipers. The rains are here. So for places where we've identified as black spots and are creating accidents for us, what are we doing to fix the problem? I'm asking this question, having at the back of my mind, what happened to this lady who died, this musician, Ebony? Yeah. Because after her accident and her death, the chippings or the sands that created or caused the accident were there for several weeks. So if we're recording high numbers of accidents in the Ashanti region, we know the black spots, and we know the causes of these accidents, what is being done to fix this, Mr. Boateng?
Okay, so as for the infrastructural issue, it's quite endemic along most of the highways in the country. There are certain areas we see improvement along certain sections. Others, lots needs to be done, especially if you look at the Stresso, Aputoja routes. We all can attest to it that there are no line markings. Fortunately, there's a road safety team from the road agency. Sometimes we move with them to identify some of these black spots. Others, the reasons we get is the roads are still under construction. You get it. But we've set up a district road safety committee concept where every district in the country is supposed to set up a road safety committee. Among the members, we have the urban roads person, transport person, education, a cross-section of professionals who have inputs in road safety. So we want them to identify, together with the authority, certain issues within their jurisdiction where they can find solutions or they can try to help. Example is when you go to Offenso. The committee there did some line markings and little road improvement. That's a road safety committee at Offenso Municipal. When you go to Ashanti Region also, there's a committee there. They also did a lot of things. So when that concept came up, at least we are seeing a little improvement. So what we are doing is the identifiable black spots or along the major arterials where we have districts. We activate them. So that at least, if not every district is working, those along the districts and municipalities along the black spots needs to be activated.
So, for example, so the Bosomtwi district, will you activate one there? Because if you tell me that
there's a committee there.
But if there is a committee there, I ask this question because you mentioned that in some of the areas the roads are still under construction. Now you'll be told by Kofi Job that is stretch, Bosomtwi stretch, maybe still under construction, leading to the lakeside. But there are no street lights, there are no street markings, and they can cause accidents.
You're right. Because at least the markings, when there are markings, when there are starts, exactly. When there are starts, when there are signages, when there are reflectors along certain sections, we all know it helps. In the night.
So as an authority, don't you tell them that? Listen,
we've told them.
They have not done it.
We do audits. We also do audits. But it all boils down to the same issue.
Yet some of the most brutal accidents are happening on
good roads.
You get it. It's also an issue. When new roads are constructed, people die a lot. So what is happening is now we are littering most of the arterials with speed calming devices, rambo strips, speed humps. As soon as the road is done, eventually there will be a
But why do you think we cannot get it right, especially in our part of the world? I'm looking at this image here, and it's a chart.
It's a map, actually.
A map of the world, of all the places with the most fatalities when it comes to accidents, and the deep colors are the ones that is heavy with fatalities. And if you look at it, almost 90% of them are in Africa. Yeah. So if you put the cursor on it, in Europe, it's usually 3,000 people, 4,500, 5,000, depends on. And when it comes to Africa, Ghana is 25,000. Togo is 22,000. Burkina Faso is 27,000. Are they here? No, what is the problem?
We have behavioral issues because though the infrastructure plays significant role, but investigations after every crash, when you do investigation, you realize that what caused it? A violation of road traffic regulations, behavioral issues. As I said earlier, we have speeding challenge in the country. You get it? So we've done a lot of enforcement. The law says, let us install speed limiters or speed governors in commercial vehicles. We preset it to a defined speed. When the vehicle is inspected and the speed governor has been tampered with, either we fine you or we don't allow you to operate. You get it? Something that has been proposed, or it's in the law actually, which needs to be implemented. You get it? Then also, we are having challenges with enforcement. You get it? I see the issue as an enforcement issue.
So the police is TV.
So not them alone.
For
they are the principal. They are
but you are part.
Yes, I'm aware.
So there's the National Road Safety Authority. It is a DVLA. It's a police. And for me, what beats my mind is that if you have police checkpoints, and still accidents are occurring at those checkpoints, it's a problem. Now, if you put that one aside, you ask yourself, how many people are arrested? How many are fined? How many are punished? That would serve as a deterrent.
Then also, we have an issue with the fines. The fines are very low. You get it? Actually, road traffic crashes are classified as misdemeanors. You get it? So I don't see them.
Give us a figure. How much do you find people?
Oh, some 300, some 600 cedis, some 2,000, some 1,200, depending on the gravity of the offense.
Oh, but again, but 2,600, it's not bad. 600 is not bad. How much? What would you recommend? What would you prefer?
You know, proud to, I think I forgot. We reduced the penalties. They used to be very high, and the penalties were reduced. Yeah. So we are even thinking whether to increase the penalties again.
What goes into it? You take it to Parliament?
That's the process. Okay. It goes through that process.
Okay.
I wanted to know something, David. The Ashanti Central, how does it compare to Greater Accra? For example, the same CBD area, or Greater Kumasi compared to Greater Accra?
So the crashes are relatively higher in Greater Accra, but the fatalities are quite low as compared to Ashanti Central. You know, in Accra, there's a lot of congestion. So anytime there's a crash, yes,
so it's
rare end, those minor.
So the first quarter, in terms of death and crashes, how does Accra compare to Kumasi?
So we've not received the national data. This is limited to the Ashanti Region.
I would have loved to see, so that David, then it tells you that the decongestion, it seems this is a broad sector approach. The MMD is how well they decongest the place. It's also very important.
Plays a role,
Yeah, plays a very good role.
So when there's a crash in the region, the severity is very high as compared to Greater Accra region. Okay. So you are more likely to die in Ashanti region as compared to Greater Accra region. Even Greater Accra, Eastern Ashanti, the three most deadliest regions in terms of road safety issues in the country.
So, I would like to add something. You know, when it comes to the road safety issues with the deaths and the fatalities, I think 90% of it has to do with behavior. My boss was talking about the speed limiters. Years ago, we had some commercial buses that had these speed limiters. What happened? The passengers were not willing to get on board.
Those kind of
like the Fords,
Yes.
The Ford vehicles at the time. We had this Ford vehicle.
Even
Metro Mass and all, they all had the speed OE. They all had the speed limiters, and the passengers were not willing to get on board.
And that is why when in some cases when you're in the bus and the driver is overspeeding, some of the passengers will encourage the driver to overspeed. And when one individual speaks against the driver overspeeding,
so the thing is, if the car is going at a specified speed limit and the road is okay from Kumasi to Accra, I know that it's going to take me 5 hours, approximately 5 hours. Why will I not bought that car? But here is the case where if you reach Kwasi or whatever, then you are in a bad road for almost 2 hours.
You have to make it up.
Exactly.
Crash compensation.
Why would I join those cars? It's the Road Safety Commission and other authority and the urban roads and all those who are
DVLA.
What are you also doing to make sure that the roads that we are using are worthy, so that it will not
encourage people
from joining those.
They have to make recommendations to government. I mean, policymakers. Or what?
It's, you know, all what you are saying is true. The government knows all these things, but the issue of
cash
funds,
could
you get it.
Why not mind?
Once you install a speed calming devices or measures, issue of funding.
How much is one? Like roughly.
I cannot say.
No, but I think that Leo raised. David, you see, all this thing he's saying. When it came to the penalties and it was high, human face, we brought it down. Now I want to go back to the high. We brought in the speed limiters. I'm sure the stakeholders like they lack the system. Now,
say
young fra, the person who complains the
young fra said the other people will not benefit.
So this is an externality of transport. So what you are saying, you get it.
It's beyond you. I'm not saying it is you, but David, you see, so the laws were fine. It's not as if
until we touch them.
So we tweak it, relax it. David, we know here when I don't want us to go back to that conversation. Why NTT officers were pulled from the street in this week?
People are dying out of broken down vehicles.
So I wanted to talk. The question I wanted to ask about broken down vehicles in terms of maintenance of our vehicles, per the accidents and the tests you do, we have tires that may look brand new, but they are expired tires, and they will not serve their purpose. There are people who are driving vehicles and their brakes are bad, brake bands are bad. There are people who do not do proper maintenance. I mean, we see rickety cars on our roads all the time. How much of them are also contributing to these crashes?
Look at the tire issue. You see
the tires.
Look at the tire issue.
Okay.
We did a study. We brought some finding out. People said that we wanted to destroy their business, especially tire dealers and tire manufacturers.
Home use tires.
The NRSA never said it was banning home use tires or second-hand tires. What we said was we are banning substandard tires. You get it. If you take a look at the tire specification, we have tire classification. We have A, B, and C. When you deal with the average commercial driver or the average Ghanaian, he tells you a tire that has the letter C on it is a commercial tire. You get it. But it's based on temperature. We have A, B, and C.
So the C doesn't mean
no.
Cold.
For winter, cold,
winter tires. Sometimes you have M plus S, Smart plus Snow. They are all snow tires. Until we had to do extensive education. Those who sell tire dealers, they told us that then we have to do it on the quiet, or else we are destroying their business.
No, but are they aware that some of the tires
they know? Are
they aware that some of the tires they sell are expired tires?
Until recently that they started, the information started going out. They didn't even understand. You get it?
But it's your
job. Tires made up of rubber. Once you are using it,
hold on. So if the tires come to the country through our ports, and they are expired tires and they are being sold by the shoulder of our streets, who's to ensure that those tires don't
we are all parts.
Exactly.
The police, the enforcers.
Exactly. So hold on.
The person has imported a very nice vehicle, but the tires underneath the vehicle is a small tire. You get it? But since the tire looks good.
We are saying the same. I'm only saying that. You see, sometimes I get you are part of it, but you see, the car came into the country through a point of entry. The car was assessed, taxes put on it, and a duty paid. That officer, doing that exercise, must be able to say that yes, we are admitting the car into the system, but here and here, change your tires.
So these are some of the regulatory gaps that we are closing.
Because see, they will sit down.
The tire issue.
Exactly, they will sit down and overlook it. For example, sometimes you see some commercial vehicle. David and I have been talking about this. Only reflectors, only traffic indicators. When we
do enforcement, you find some. Last week we went to Offenso. Somebody who was at fault threatened to beat a policeman, an inspector, who was totally at fault. You get it? So sometimes we, the listeners, or we, the operators, we need to cooperate with the agencies to work because it's for everybody's sake.
Mr. Boateng,
we introduced the towing system. Wanted to introduce towing system. We all saw what happened.
Yeah.
Has the issue been resolved?
No.
People call me a lot for.
So now when cars break down on the road, we've seen people drive directly under traffic.
Oh, you get it.
But they leave tree branches. They don't have what do you call it? A one triangle.
Nothing.
So they leave tree branches and leaves.
Especially at night. where there are no reflectors on the highway, or there are no lighting system.
Or they use go for gallon and throw.
You get it? And it's persistent. If you are in Accra, and those who protested against this act, most of them live in Accra. They don't drive along the highways. When you travel along the highway, that's when you see some of these things.
But indulge me, let's go back to the tie issue. Because it's also creating a problem. If the ties are expired and somebody buys it and is using it, it doesn't get a grip that is required. Mr. Drew, am I right?
Yes. No, it's, that's for the tie issue.
So what are we doing about people who are selling expired ties? If you are importing something, you get to know what specifications, what you are bringing in. So if you are, and if you're foolish enough to bring in an expired tie, we should also be sensible enough to prevent you from selling those expired ties for us not to use them.
We engage them. We started engaging them. Some of them, they find it difficult to understand. Eventually, they understand it because one issue, when the Voxy issue came, I listened to very elderly people who were speaking very passionately. You get it? But the fact is, they didn't know what they were saying. You get it? In this country, the fact that a person is quite old, he says he's an experienced person. What is happening along this road transport issue? You find somebody who say he's a road safety expert, he's a transport expert. He's managed transport for 30 years. What has he done? He has money, he's purchased the fleets, and he says that makes him an expert. You get it? So it's a very big issue. And most of the actors in this, I'm not saying all of them, but we have a lot of lack of understanding and appreciation as compared to other modes. When you take the aviation sector, anybody who plays a role goes through rigorous training. Even those who inspect passengers, they are certified. You get it? You cannot do anything without any authorization.
What do you think?
When you go to maritime, it's the same thing happening there. When you go to rail, it's there. When you come to road, what do you see?
So what's stopping you from doing that? Because I understand.
No, we enforce them, we engage them, but they also have other avenues to engage people who are bigger than us.
So my question I want to ask, what do you think is our biggest challenge in terms? We're trying to reduce, deaths on our roads, fatalities on our roads. We're trying to reduce accidents on our roads. We're doing a lot of sensitization, a lot of education.
It's an enforcement issue.
So our biggest problem is enforcement.
It's an enforcement.
So which means the police largely.
No, I don't want to blame them. Everybody who's supposed to.
But largely.
They are the primary enforcement.
Exactly. So largely the police.
It's an enforcement issue.
So if it's an enforcement problem and they are largely the enforcers, there is a police problem. You get it.
They also have their issues. I cannot sit here.
Don't defend them. Don't speak for them, please. I mean, you speak for the
NRS.
Speak for NRS.
It's an enforcement issue.
Because if the police are on the road,
because if you are to enforce at least
if somebody has overloaded a vehicle. If somebody has overloaded a vehicle, if somebody's car is not fit to be on the road, and the police will do what is required or expected of them, will not take 5 cities or 10 cities or 20 cities and let the people go, and we all conform to do the right things. It will help all of us.
We did this Voxy issue. We are doing some small enforcement. You find somebody, if you want to operate a commercial vehicle, you need to have an insurance for a commercial insurance. The license plate should be what? Yellow.
Yeah.
You find people with private insurance number, private insurance cover, with private number, operating commercial. You get it? When you stop the vehicle, you find the passengers themselves trying to attack you until we explain to them that, look, the vehicle you are sitting inside, it's not registered for commercial. The insurance is not registered for commercial.
So
when there's a problem, you will not be catered for. Before so it's
but David, I think that for me 3 issues I imagine. 1, policy issues, enforcement issues, and also lack of education.
Please, if you say policy issue, what are you implying?
So the policy issues I'm talking about is that those who are supposed to, like you said, why is the aviation industry heavily regulated? And when it comes to transport, the policymakers have left it for almost everybody.
No, it's now with the regulatory administration has started taking place. That's they are not used to it.
Exactly.
So they'll fight it anyway.
They are not used to
because
it.
we've allowed them for a long period of time to do whatever. Because David, if not you today, I didn't even know that most of the boxes around are apparently private.
Some of them will take Ghana Tourism Authority certificates, and they will argue that Ghana Tourism has given them a sticker.
But that's for tourism.
You get it. And
that
you
is not for
find
commercial.
educated people arguing with you on this. You get it. So it's
sorry, our time is fast spent. I don't think we can pick calls, can we?
Please, a second on so with the Eugene, with what you said.
So Isaac, indulge me. I mean, with all that you've heard so far, our dear listeners, did you know that tires expire? They have expiry dates. So when you're buying a tire, you check. If you're driving and you realize that there are no road markings, no street lights, and all that we've shared with it so far this morning, what do you want to say about it? Some of the vehicles that you sit in as commercial, they don't even have the insurance such that if something should happen, you'll be covered. Call us on 03220-83596, 03220-83597, and 03220-83598, and share your thoughts on any of the issues we've talked about so far. Yes, Mr. Odro.
So with the regulations, as Eugene said, until recently, until 2022, mostly the assemblies controlled transport. So there were no standards for transport in the country, no standard or national standards for the whole country. And now that road safety is supposed to regulate this sector, you can imagine.
Because it's been left for a long period of time.
Good. So
okay. Good morning.
Yeah, Leo.
Yeah, Kofi, let's hear you, boss.
Yes, you've spoken extensively with the road safety man in the studio. In fact, having listened to you, I don't really, get the real job of these road safety people. When you ask them, they said the real enforcers are the police. And so what do they do when they go to the road? Do they go there to only record accidents or what? I don't know, because when they stop cars, what exactly do they look for that the passengers don't know? That the passengers should know that we are road safety and these are the things that we are looking for. And so the passengers should be educated. I don't know. They just stand on the road and they are messed up with the police, with the immigration.
Okay, he will give you an answer very shortly. Kofi, good morning.
Good morning, Leo. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Let's hear you, boss.
Good. You see, Mr. Amalba and the road safety should hasten slowly because the boxy, you can't ban it. You shouldn't ban it. Boxy car is not the problem. My brother, one of my brothers, actually registered 5 boxy cars last year, 2025, to fly Accra to Kumasi. And he employed well-behaved drivers. Good attitude drivers. They've been using it for about 1 year now. No accident have occurred. So that boxy car is, I don't think it's the problem, but the attitude of the drivers. So if that is the case, why don't you, fix, make it an enforcement? Enforce it because the boxy car has a lot of speed, but it's lighter. So they press it and then it moves. So if that is the case, why don't you make it an enforcement to fix speed limit sensor in all of them to check some of these things? Because you see, the data shows that motorcycle involves a lot of accidents than even some of the cars. Because have you banned it? Have you banned motorcycles? No, we are still using it. The buses, the one that the
VIP and the other buses,
they're all being involved in the accident. So why are we banning them? You shouldn't ban it because a lot of people have better law.
Thank you very much, Kofi Bedu. Who's on the line? Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Kofi Mensa, Bob.
Kofi Mensa, let's hear you, sir.
It's a very nice program. Everything concerning our roads, I'm very interested. You see, the road safety, what do they, what is their, their plans to arrest these things on the road? Car breakdown on the road. Very vital for road safety. Vital. You are driving and all of a sudden somebody throws the headlamp onto you get diesel. What are they doing? And I heard some time back we are talking about the cars being towed and the owners paying dearly for that. What has become of this? Ghana, we bring rules and regulations. We don't follow them through. Please, let them look critical at that session.
Thank you very much. He's going to address it very shortly. Now let's speak to George. Good morning, George.
Good morning. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing good. Let's hear you, sir.
Thank you. Please, we don't have to ban these cars. It is not the fault of the cars. All is the fault of the drivers. You see, they drive by heart, they overtake, they overspeed. So it is the drivers that they have to talk to. And concerning the roads, I don't know the mind of a black man. Government will use money to construct footbridge for you to cross. And you want police to guard you to use that road. You see, you leave the right way for you to cross and to be safe, to be passing where you don't supposed to pass so that cars will be knocking you down. What else do we want our leaders to do? And concerning the overspeeding too, the passengers, if you're in a vehicle and the driver is overspeeding and you are trying to caution the driver, especially when you are aged, you see the young guys will be telling you, and what doing Chinabottom man who's through So it's a problem.
It's a problem indeed. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name, please?
I'm Francis.
Francis, good to have you, sir. Let's hear your contribution.
Well, thanks for this program. You see, those who are saying...
Francis, do me a favor. Turn down the volume on your radio set for me, or move away from your radio set, please. Thank you.
Okay. Those who are saying they shouldn't ban those cars, I don't know. If, you see, some time ago, these Nissan urban buses were going long distance. They were going long distance. And it was resulting in fatalities. Accra Kumasi Road. And the company was called in. They said, no, those vehicles should not go long distance. And they banned those Nissan urban buses. Now they are going intracity. So if you have found that there's a problem with these Voxy cars, and the company said it's meant for intracity, and they want to ban it, why are they saying, we shouldn't ban it, we shouldn't ban it? The vehicle producers are saying it's not meant for intercity, but intra. And they say they will ban it, and people are saying we shouldn't ban it. Meanwhile, you see, very soon, these vehicles will be involved in accidents. And the same Ghanaians will come and complain. Why are we like that?
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please, your name, where are you calling from?
I am Afia calling from Madam Kwame.
Afia from Madam Kwame, let's hear you.
Yes, Dave. I came into the discussion, but the little contribution I want to make, I drive. One, the problem I have is the non-availability of margin. As I'm talking to you, I'm driving along the route of Barikesi or Fenso, and there are no margins. The white margins to divide the road margins to tell you this is a curve, this is what, it's not there. The same thing with the Ejoso Jabin stretch. Very good road, no margin.
Has it worn off, or they haven't done it at all?
No, that's terrible, especially in the night. People are driving in the middle of the road and they don't know they are driving in the middle of the road. Second thing, the issue of the light. I wear lens. And you drive at night and somebody just throw the light like that. Different kinds of light. Sometimes you wonder what they intend doing, who is watching, and who is allowing these lights to be used.
Thank you very much, Afia. Your concerns are very valid.
You see, Leo, he's right. The last time I went to the funeral in Tunkumso, almost the entire Secretariat, you don't see road. In fact, when you drive from Anita Hotel through to about Jabinsini High School, the front, there's no. Even at night, you can count less than 3 functioning street lights on that stretch. Yeah. And it's a very wide road. Yeah. The MPP has an office there. Yeah. Then you just go to the Jabinsini High School. Yeah. She's right. There's no marking on the road.
But how often do they remark them? Because I know sometimes they mark them and then it wears off with time. What is the
routine?
Sikana.
You see, that road, that Dublin road is still under construction. Normally, in our part of the world, what happens is that anytime the road is under construction, those line markings and pedestrian infrastructure is the last thing on the agenda for the contractor. So, if they are not done with the entire stretch, they wouldn't do them.
So if that road will take 20 years to complete.
But is that standard practice?
No, that is what happens here in Ghana.
No. Is that standard practice?
No.
So who should be enforced? Because if roads are being constructed, you have somebody whose job it is to monitor what is being done and if it's being done right. So if you've done a certain stretch, you bring them. You can you bring them to us?
Oh, of course.
Oh, Charlie will be happy. Bring us let's do highways, urban roads, feeder roads. Put them together.
But do you have a fair idea of how many buckets of paint you need for 1 kilometer?
For that one.
No. David, this come on to paint because
thermoplastic.
Thermoplastic. And David, even beyond that, I noticed something that when I think Ken Westy have it. You know, sometimes even the road marking, there are some reflective things.
They call it the cat eyes.
Yes.
Or the cat eyes.
Yeah, it should be David,
standard.
Because see, David, the just thing I drove on that road before. We went to Mampong. Then we were descending the Mampong. So when we go Fifi drove, and I decided to drive on the camera. David. And you see, on that stretch is where, unfortunately, you have the 4 people, the Fijasev cars. They drive very carelessly on that stretch.
The people who hit your car the last time.
Yeah.
But Mr. Boateng, in some communities, because people are being knocked down haphazardly, people themselves, the community people themselves raise speed humps. Per our laws, is it allowed?
It's not really allowed, actually. It's not allowed.
So if I see it being done or I see somebody who has done it, what can I do?
You know, when it's being done, it's a response to something that has happened.
I agree.
You get it. So sometimes we allow the emotions to go down, then we come on and give them. Then later, they do the appropriate one.
This has been lovely in the morning.
You wanted to respond to some of the
questions. So somebody was talking about the towing vehicles. Yeah. So right now, the direction we are going is we want every road user to register with an insurance company. Mm-hmm. When the vehicle breaks down, you call your insurance company to engage the insurance company's towing company to tow. Mm-hmm. If they fail to act, then we come in. So we are presenting that bill. We are amending certain sections of LI 2118.
So all these trucks with charcoal that gets broken down by the roadside and then stays there for hours and hours and hours. You mean when it happens like that, they should call their insurance?
Call their insurance. That's what Ghanaians say they want. Ghanaians say that's what they want. So you call your insurance company. You register with any insurance company. You call your insurance company. So when they fail to act, we come in with a towing truck. We give you a grace period. If you don't come, the vehicle and its content will be sold to pay for the work that has been done.
Or when you told them, then you can charge them a fee.
Yeah, that's the direction now.
Okay.
Then the lighting system, the unapproved lamps, is something that is worrying most road users along the highway. So we take them off. We encourage others to take them off. The police also take them off. When we are taking these lamps off, mm-hmm. it always becomes the scene becomes chaotic. You get it. People don't even understand why they should take that lamp off, mm-hmm. especially the truck drivers. But they are all unapproved. They are illegal lamps. So
they are not supposed to be there.
Yeah, they are not supposed to be there.
I think at this juncture, it's time for us.
Then also somebody did not really understand why we should be on the road. We are mandated to be there on the road to ensure the safety of all road users, including vehicle occupants. The law mandates us to prevent any vehicle that we see.
What enforcement powers do you have?
That's why I was saying that we are mandated to be on the road to prevent some of these issues. So we can detain any vehicle that we see does not meet proper road safety regulations.
Even though the police is the primary enforcer,
yes,
you also have some enforcement powers.
We have that also. Then also we develop standards for the country. Then also we have to regulate the road transport industry in Ghana.
All right, thank you very much for passing through and having this discussion with us. And now we're going to take some messages and go to the Swan Morning Show team to continue the conversations over there. And thank you for passing through the studios once again. And like David said, help us to get the highways, the feeder roads and MR roads into the studios for them to come and answer questions. So listeners, let's enjoy this music, and we are going to join the Swan Morning Show team in Accra shortly.
She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. I can smoke already, so hard in my blunt is. I say, that's pretty